the crime bosses, plotters and petty crooks who ruled Sydney streets after World War I. But you wouldn't know it to look at the extraordinary photographs now on show at the Museum of Sydney. The exhibition, Underworld, Mugshots of the Roaring Twenties, gives us a glimpse into our nation's history nearly a century ago. Historian Nerida Campbell is the curator of the exhibition and she's with us to talk through some of these mugshots. Welcome to the show. These are fascinating to look back on. I mean, the way they're posed, it looks like they're posing for a fashion shoot, not for a police mugshot.
They do. They're like nothing that we see anywhere else in the world. The people are so relaxed and the photographers obviously got such a rapport with the subjects. And they're relaxed. You know, some of them are scowling, some of them are even sort of holding their handbags, smiling at the camera. I
think we've got some to show everyone at home. Let's have a look at this.
This is just...
Why are they so stylised? Why were they so posed back in the day?
I think part of it was that the police wanted a mugshot they could show a witness to a crime without people knowing that the person was actually in custody. So these are like images you might have had on your mantelpiece or sent home to mum. And if you cropped out the cells and the bars from the background, it would look like a normal kind of studio photo, I think.
Well, the 20s are a time of particularly high crime in Sydney, and why?
There was a little bit more crime during the 20s because during World War I we lost so many police officers on the battlefields. So by 1920, we were about 200 to 300 police short for the job that we needed to do.
Wow, that's fascinating.
And tell us about some of the characters that we're looking at here and that you've got in the exhibition. I think I might have seen Tilly Devine before.
Oh, you would have seen Kate Lee. Tilly Devine does not appear because she was so well known in Sydney they didn't need her photo.
What about Barbara Turner-Taylor?
Barbara Turner-Taylor is one of my favourites. She was considered by the police to be the most successful con person in New South Wales. So not just con woman, con person.
Well
and
done. Sisterhood.
She targeted businessmen and lawyers who are not the most gullible people and managed to get money out of them. And you can see with her old-fashioned dress there, you know, she would appear as somebody who was very honest, didn't know a lot about what was going on in the world and con them out of money.
What was her sort of routine? Did she have a favourite grift? Or
she loved to say that she had a property in Perth that she was just about to settle on and she needed a little bit of money to get her over the...
That's like today on the internet.
A little bit like that. But she had this additional thing that she did. She was a great writer and she was writing a book. She had many editions of it. And what would happen is if you took her to court, she'd say, you'll be in my next edition. And she'd say, here's this lawyer. He was so stupid. I managed to get this amount of money out of him. It would ruin your reputation. So if you were taking her to court, you had to think very seriously about the consequences.
Let's have a look at this next picture. It's of a very sad-looking girl who looks like she's about to head off for a night of the theatre. Who's this?
This is Edna Lindsay. She's only 19 years old and she had the misfortune to fall for a bad boy and she just fell in love with this man who had no job and liked to hang out at jazz halls.
Oh, not jazz halls.
Oh, yeah, jazz hall lounger. So she was convinced by him to forge a cheque from her employer and she got caught by the police. And when she went before the court, the magistrate sort of discharged her without conviction but said to her, dancing's not everything in life. Bit of fatherly advice to her.
Stop that dancing, it'll only lead to trouble.
Now, there's a photo we've got two of us of a returned serviceman with one leg. Now, when they came back from the war, not only were the coppers decimated, but obviously these guys came back to what kind of job offers, what kind of life?
Yeah, well, for many people, they just could not settle back into the rhythms of their life previously. They couldn't go back to their families, relationships. And in the case of Stanley Hay, he couldn't go back to the work he had previously. He'd injured his leg on the battlefields of France, had it amputated. And
he looks mean, doesn't he?
Oh,
he looks mean.
Yeah, he'd had a tough war. So he was looking for a new job, failed, was, you know, skint. And he broke into a place called Diggersville, which was... a Commonwealth government factory designed to teach veterans new skills. So they were learning how to make cars and do jewellery and stuff like that so they could get employment. He actually broke in, stole 5 suitcases and 4 kit bags. I'm not sure how he carried them, given, you know, his own crutches. But when he went before the courts, the magistrate decided that there wasn't enough evidence and let him go. And he doesn't appear again in any of the records.
Soft on crime back then, weren't they?
Tell us about the woman known as the escapologist.
The escapologist, Eddie Benn. bursts into the criminal records, age 16, pregnant, and in Cowra, so in central New South Wales. She escapes from police custody after she'd been charged with theft and runs out into the streets. 50 townsfolk tried to chase her down and can't catch her. She's a supreme athlete. She escapes from Long Bay Jail in 1923 while pregnant. She scales those walls, broke a leg and was recaptured at that stage. But she was somebody who could climb a 3-storey building using a drain pipe. And I love the fact that the police photo of her actually has a drain pipe in the background. Taking a big risk there.
That is just magnificent.
awesome.
Hard
Great
to be on the
story.
side, isn't it?
Nerida, we could chat all day about these fabulous stories, but people can actually see it in person at Underworld mugshots from the Roaring 20s at the Museum of Sydney until the 12th of August. It is fabulous. It's also a book which can be bought from stores and online. Nerida Campbell, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got to take a break, but when we come back, we've got to